On August 19, 2025, San Francisco International Airport bustled with its usual energy. Air India Flight 171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, gleamed at the gate, ready for Delhi. Passengers boarded, thinking only of their destinations. The crew moved efficiently, the cabin filled with the hum of routine. Engines roared to life and the plane taxied to the runway. Takeoff was smooth, the ascent unremarkable. At cruising altitude, passengers relaxed, some slept, others watched movies, meals were served, and the flight progressed without incident. The pilots monitored systems, all was normal. No turbulence, no warnings, no oddities, just another day in the sky. As the Dreamliner descended into Delhi, the mood was calm. Landing was gentle, the journey seemingly complete. Passengers disembarked, unaware of anything unusual. For the crew, it was another routine flight. But hidden deep within the aircraft, something extraordinary awaited discovery. A secret, about to come to light. After the last passenger left, the cabin was silent, echoing with the faint footsteps of the crew as they finished their final checks. The massive Dreamliner was then carefully towed to a brightly lit maintenance hangar for its scheduled overnight inspection, a routine that happened after every long-haul flight. Technicians moved methodically, inspecting the engines, landing gear, and cockpit. Every switch, every bolt, every panel was checked. Everything appeared normal, just as it always did. Inside the cabin, advanced diagnostic systems were run, and the maintenance crew reviewed their checklists. All systems seemed in perfect order, with no alarms or warnings. Then came the avionics bay, often called the electronic heart of the plane, where countless wires and circuits quietly powered the jet's most critical systems. Senior technician Ravi Sharma approached and opened the access panel, expecting to see the familiar tangle of wires and blinking lights he'd seen 100 times before. But this time, something was different. A strange, earthy scent, like damp soil after rain, drifted out, completely out of place in the sterile, metallic environment of the aircraft. Ravi, puzzled, shone his flashlight inside the dark compartment and immediately froze, his breath catching in his throat. Behind a bundle of thick cables, a patch of vibrant green glowed faintly, almost as if it were alive with its own mysterious energy. Delicate, translucent plants clung to the cold metal frame, their leaves shimmering and thriving in the darkness where nothing should have grown. Condensation from a nearby cooling pipe dripped steadily onto the miniature garden, providing just enough moisture for this hidden ecosystem to survive. Ravi stared in disbelief, then quickly called his supervisor, his voice trembling with shock and excitement. Soon a small group of maintenance staff gathered around the open panel, their faces a mix of awe and confusion. The routine check had become anything but. The discovery was unprecedented. The area was quickly cordoned off, with strict instructions that no one was to disturb the mysterious plants. No one dared to touch a thing. The team could only observe, realizing they were witnessing something truly extraordinary. The maintenance team exchanged serious glances, understanding that this was no ordinary maintenance issue. It was a mystery that demanded answers. Experts from across the airport would need to be called in, each bringing their own theories and equipment to investigate the impossible garden. Soon, word began to spread, and news crews gathered outside the hangar. The secret inside AI171 was about to make headlines around the world. The world was about to learn of the impossible garden in the sky, a discovery that would captivate imaginations everywhere. The supervisor arrived, skeptical, expecting perhaps a technical glitch or a routine maintenance issue, nothing more. But his skepticism vanished the moment he saw the glowing patch for himself. A sight so unexpected it left him momentarily speechless. There, nestled within the heart of the aircraft, a small, self-contained ecosystem flourished inside the avionics bay, thriving in a place designed for machines, not life. Moss-like growth glowed with a soft bioluminescent light, casting an eerie green hue that danced across the metal surfaces and filled the compartment with an otherworldly glow. Tiny fern-like fronds sprouted from the moss, almost transparent, their delicate forms swaying gently in the recycled air, as if untouched by the outside world. Droplets of water clung to the leaves, fed by condensation from the environmental control system, nature adapting ingeniously to the artificial climate of the aircraft. Most astonishing were the tiny insect-like creatures crawling among the plants, their movements quick and purposeful, as if they belonged here all along. Pale and translucent, they fed on the moss, completing a miniature food chain that had somehow established itself in this unlikely sanctuary. The maintenance team, more used to wires than wildlife, was awestruck, staring in disbelief at the living world thriving where only circuits should be. They took photos, documenting the bizarre scene, eager to capture evidence of this impossible phenomenon before it vanished. The area was quickly sealed off, and the discovery reported up the chain of command, as protocol demanded in the face of the unknown. This was no longer a technical problem, it had become a scientific mystery, one that demanded urgent attention and expertise from multiple fields. How had a living ecosystem taken root in a sterile, high-tech environment designed to keep nature out at all costs? What were these organisms, and could they pose a risk to the aircraft, its passengers, or even the wider environment? The Dreamliner, a marvel of modern engineering, had unwittingly become host to a hidden world, an ecosystem thriving in secret. The news began to spread rapidly, setting off alarms at Air India and beyond, as officials scrambled to understand the implications. The impossible garden was now everyone's problem, raising questions that no one had ever thought to ask. The investigation had only just begun, and the answers, if they existed, were still hidden within the glowing green shadows. News of the discovery raced through Air India's operations center. At first, many dismissed it as a hoax, but photos from the hangar silenced the doubters. Executives, safety officers, and Boeing engineers joined emergency calls. The flight crew was debriefed, but they reported nothing unusual. Passengers, oblivious, went about their lives, until the story hit the press. Headlines screamed of alien gardens and mystery life forms. Social media buzzed with fascination and fear. Customer service lines lit up with worried calls. Engineers focused on safety, inspecting every component near the growth. Avionics specialists treated the area like an archaeological site. The world watched, waiting for answers. The ecosystem had thrived in secrecy, leaving no trace in the cabin. The sense of control in aviation was shaken. A hidden world had traveled across the globe, undetected. Air India called in top biologists from the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, summoning their expertise to unravel the mystery that had gripped the nation and the world. Clad in biohazard suits, the scientists moved with precision, carefully collecting samples of the strange moss, delicate ferns, and the tiny elusive insects that had taken root inside the aircraft. The world watched with bated breath. Was this a bizarre twist of nature or evidence of life from beyond our planet? News channels buzzed with speculation, and social media exploded with theories. After days of intense analysis, the lab results finally arrived. The moss was identified as a completely new species of bioluminescent bryophyte, never before seen by science. This moss glowed softly in the darkness, a survival mechanism that allowed it to thrive where sunlight could not reach, possibly even powering a unique form of photosynthesis. The fern-like plants, though reminiscent of rare ferns from India's western Ghats, had evolved transparent leaves, an adaptation to capture every available photon in the dim environment. The insects too were remarkable. A new species of springtail, completely blind and colorless, perfectly adapted to a world without light, feeding on the moss and ferns. It became clear, this was not alien life, but a terrestrial ecosystem, isolated and highly specialized, evolving rapidly in the unique confines of the aircraft. The three organisms formed a tightly knit symbiotic relationship. Moss provided light, ferns absorbed it, insects fed on both, and their waste nourished the plants, creating a self-sustaining microcosm. The entire system was sustained by condensation from the aircraft's environmental control system ducts, providing the moisture needed for life to flourish. It was a stunning demonstration of rapid, isolated evolution, nature's ingenuity at work in the most unexpected of places. The scientific community was astonished, marveling at the resilience and adaptability of life. The Dreamliner's secret was not a threat, but a breathtaking marvel of nature, hidden in plain sight. This miniature world was a powerful testament to life's ability to adapt, survive, and even thrive in the harshest and most unlikely environments. Yet, one question remained: how had this extraordinary ecosystem found its way into the heart of a modern aircraft? The mystery only deepened, inviting further investigation. With the what answered, investigators turned to how. They traced the aircraft's history from manufacturing to maintenance. The most likely theory: spores and eggs contaminated a component made near the Western Ghats, then installed in the plane. The avionics bay's dark, humid environment became a perfect incubator. Another theory: spores entered during a rare open-air maintenance event in a tropical location. A third, less likely idea, spores traveled from cargo holds carrying plants or soil. Each scenario was painstakingly investigated. The complexity of the aircraft left room for countless tiny possibilities. No single answer emerged, but the investigation continued. The Dreamliner's secret garden was a product of chance and opportunity. Life had found a way against all odds. The search for the origin became a case study in aviation and biology. The world watched, fascinated by the improbable chain of events. The scientific community was captivated. Dr. Aruna Singh, lead biologist, called it a perfect storm of biological opportunism. The Dreamliner's avionics bay had unwittingly provided water, warmth, and shelter. The organisms were pre-adapted to thrive in darkness and isolation. Safety fears were quickly eased. No damage, no interference with electronics. The DGCA declared the phenomenon posed no immediate danger. But the discovery raised new questions for aircraft design and maintenance. Could future planes prevent such surprises? The story became a global sensation, shifting public fear to fascination. The ecosystem was a symbol of life's persistence, not a threat. The incident became a case study in the unexpected relationship between technology and nature. Even in a world of machines, nature finds a foothold. The Dreamliner's garden was a beautiful anomaly. The lesson: expect the unexpected. Aviation experts scoured records for similar incidents. Animals have stowed away on planes, snakes, rodents, even bees. But never a self-sustaining ecosystem. The Dreamliner's garden was unprecedented in aviation history. Its symbiotic life forms had evolved in isolation, hidden from view. Parallels existed only in other extreme environments: nuclear reactors, subway tunnels, deep-sea vents. Life adapts, even in the harshest places. The avionics bay was just another frontier for nature. The discovery reframed the event as a scientific marvel, not a freak occurrence. It calmed public fears and inspired curiosity. The flying garden became a symbol of life's adaptability. The lesson: nature is always full of surprises. The Dreamliner's secret was a teacher, not a terror. The story of Flight AI171 ended not in crisis, but in transformation. The aircraft was cleaned and returned to service, now a legend in the fleet. The incident sparked a new field: aircraft microbiology. Airlines updated maintenance procedures to check for biological growth. Manufacturers researched new materials to resist mold and fungi. The goal: safer, cleaner skies for all. The investigation proved the system worked. Problems were found, studied, and solved. The public's trust in aviation grew. The story became a celebration of curiosity and wonder. The legacy: humility before nature's power. Even at 35,000 feet, life finds a way. The Dreamliner's garden was a silent companion, a reminder of the world's mysteries. In the heart of technology, there is always room for a little magic.